where the average looking person used to be enough for someone, now the expectation is that someone has to look like an Instagram model, or their relationship has to be perfect, otherwise they're going to look elsewhere. What is going on, everybody? So I recently started reading this book here called Influence by Robert Cialdini. It's a psychology book, and I'm literally only 20 pages in, and I already have to make a video because one of the topics that they touch on in the first chapter is so relevant to modern day society with social media, dating apps, and just like television and media in general. And what that is what they call the contrast principle. And what the contrast principle is when you're comparing two things, one right after another, how you perceive that second item, that second thing, is heavily influenced by that first thing you saw, that first item. So like a very basic, I guess, example would be, take two people that are both overweight. The first person you see is like 200 pounds overweight. The second person is like only 50 pounds overweight. That second person who's 50 pounds overweight, their situation doesn't seem as severe, or they don't seem as unhealthy as that first person because you're comparing them to someone who's 200 pounds overweight. So it kind of just changes like the standard that you're setting internally when viewing something or when judging something. And they reference several different studies in this book that really illustrate this concept in real life. And one I really liked was they went to Arizona State University, and they took a group of guys, and they were showing them different pictures of women to rate, to potentially go out on a blind date with them, to like rate them on their attractiveness levels. And within that original group of guys, they took an even smaller group, and they had them watch the movie Charlie's Angels while they were rating these different women to go on a blind date with. And for anyone who hasn't seen Charlie's Angels, it's basically a movie with really attractive women in it. That's pretty much how it relates to this story. And what they found is that the guys who were watching Charlie's Angels while they were rating these different women to go on a blind date with, they rated all of the women as less attractive than the guys who were not watching Charlie's Angels. So it kind of changes your perception, it changes your expectation of the opposite sex, or for this specific scenario, of women. And I say this because it relates so much to modern day society with social media, dating apps, television. When you log on to social media, your explore page is just filled with fitness models or Instagram influencers, like people that are just naturally very good looking. And then on top of that, they have filters and photo editing that makes them even better looking. Or you log on to Facebook, and you see all of these couples posting pictures together, acting like they have this perfect relationship. So then when you see that, now your expectation is that your relationship has to be perfect. And we wonder why so many people are unhappy with their lives. So many people have trouble with dating and relationships. And I think a lot of this can be attributed back to this principle. It's creating unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and our standards are almost becoming too high. Where the average looking person used to be enough for someone, now the expectation is that someone has to look like an Instagram model, or their relationship has to be perfect, otherwise they're going to look elsewhere. And unfortunately, the sad part about this is that, social media is not going to go anywhere. These dating apps aren't going to go away. Media and technology, it's not going to go away. We're not going to flip a switch and go back to a point in time where none of this stuff existed and we can live more in tune with reality. That's just not going to happen. And as much as you may want to think that these companies have your own best interest in mind, they don't. They don't care about you. They care about money. They care about you consuming their product repeatedly without even thinking. And you're already seeing it today. We're almost becoming programmed. We're almost becoming robots where we just automatically consume their content without even thinking. And I notice it with myself. I'll be watching a television show, and right when a commercial break comes on, I grab my phone and look at Instagram, or I look at YouTube, or look at some social media site. And this is so dangerous because one, I think a lot of people aren't even aware of it. And two, the people that are aware of it, we become so addicted that they still can't control it. And so I think the only way to really, I guess, overcome this and create realistic standards and live a life that you enjoy and is fulfilling and you're happy with, the first step in that, I think, is having the self-discipline to monitor and manage your expectations. And how you do that is by monitoring and managing the types of content you're consuming. What types of content are you consuming? How often are you consuming it? Because this is going to influence how we view the world, how we view relationships, how we view other people that we potentially want to date. And if the expectation is way up here, when realistically it should be down here, we're never going to be happy. We're never going to be fulfilled. We're never going to find a relationship or a job or a body that we're actually happy being in. And so I guess the moral of the story is it falls on us. Like, we can't rely on companies, we can't rely on other people to manage these expectations and manage our lives and our worldview. It's our responsibility to do so. And that starts with the types of content we're consuming on social media, how much time we're spending on dating apps, what types of movies and TV shows you're watching. It can even go to like porn and how often people are like consuming hyper-sexualized content, because this also plays into, you know, how we view the opposite sex and how we view relationships and how we view dating. So just wanted to make a video on this because I think it's a very important and relevant concept that is probably impacting everybody watching this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, whether you agree or disagree or just any other random thoughts you have about the issue. If you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing. I make videos like this on a weekly or bi-weekly or just whenever I feel like it basis, and would love to have you guys tuning in and joining in on the discussion. So until next time, I appreciate you guys. Peace.